Bouldering and climbing have become an increasingly popular sport. There are so many climbing centres up and down the country now, offering people the chance to try this great sport with relative ease and in the comfort of an indoor environment. But the joys of bouldering and climbing aren't just confined to the indoor gyms and centres. You'll find an even greater level of satisfaction in ticking off some boulder problems on real rock. There are a few things to consider when heading outside to boulder for the first time. Some things will be obvious, but there are several important things to bear in mind which can make a huge difference in the long run to the climbing community and the access we have to these bouldering venues. There is a long history of hard work and fighting to obtain and maintain access to the wonderful boulders we are fortunate enough to climb on, so it's important that access to these places isn't jeopardised for the many by the actions of the few. The following 5 key aspects of outdoor climbing etiquette are the codes we follow to make sure that we and others can continue to enjoy the crags and boulders. Before venturing out, check the access situation for any venue you intend to visit. There may be local restrictions in place, access closed off periodically by the landowners for various reasons, and more commonly bird nesting restrictions. Guidebooks, local community forums and national parks will have information about any access issues. In the UK, the BMC are one of the best resources of information as they have an up-to-date database of all climbing venues, the RAD, Regional Access Database, with advice on any issues which may be in place. Once at your venue, remember that there are others who utilise the same areas that climbers do, from other tourists and day trippers to the locals and landowners and farmers. Be careful to park considerately, leaving gates, field entrances and driveways clear. If your furry 4-legged friend is joining you on your climbing adventures, please make sure they're kept under control at all times. Boulders and crags are often in places surrounded by free-roaming sheep and livestock and ground-nesting birds. It's up to us as climbers to look after the boulders we play on. Make sure that the rock you're about to climb on is dry, especially if it's softer rock such as sandstone in Fontainebleau or gritstone in the Peak. Wet rock becomes fragile and can easily result in holds being broken or faster erosion of footholds. To keep the rock from eroding too quickly, make sure your climbing shoes are clean, free of dirt, grit and mud just before you get on the rock. Sand, grit and dirt abrades the rock, and no one likes to climb on muddy or dirty handholds. A small towel is handy to clean them just before you step onto the rock. The real joy of climbing outside comes from figuring out the beater and moves to climb a problem using only what the rock has. Outdoor boulder problems don't come with colour-coded hand or footholds. It's up to the climber to find the best holds and use them to their advantage. Whilst it has happened in the past, chipping holds nowadays is a definite no-no. If you're not able to climb the problem and think there should be a jug on it somewhere, then you're better off looking for a boulder problem which already has a natural jug. When you finish your climb, remember to brush off any tick marks and excess chalk with a soft bristled brush. Soft bristles help prevent damage to the rock. This leaves the problem ready for another climber to figure out. It also minimises the aesthetic impact that our chalk has on the rock for others who may be passing by. Keep footholds free of chalk. If you do need to mark the odd foothold for ease of finding mid-climb, then use a nugget of chalk to draw a tick mark line to it rather than colouring in the edge with the chalk. If the boulder problem you've chosen has started to become a little vegetated, then take care to preserve any rare species of plant which has grown. If you're in any doubt, leave it where it is. It's unlikely that you'll be the only boulderers you'll ever see out and about. Inevitably, there'll come a time when someone else is climbing on a problem that you're dying to get on and try. Be polite and ask if it'd be okay to join them, rather than being a boulder bomber and jumping straight onto their mat and the problem they're trying. At present, social distancing is still in place, so it's probably best to look for a different problem if there's someone already on the boulder problem you fancy. Climbers aren't the only ones out there enjoying the countryside. Many bouldering venues are also popular spots for walkers to aim for. Considering others and being respectful of their enjoyment of the outdoor environment will go a long way to maintaining good relationships with landowners and a decent perception of climbers from others. If you'd like to listen to music, please use headphones rather than speakers, as the vast majority of people around you are there to enjoy the peace and quiet of nature. There are no bins at crags, and there are no cleaners there to pick up your litter at the end of the day. Take all your litter home with you. Inevitably, at some point during your outdoor climbing time, you'll need to answer a call of nature. Go away from boulders, crags and paths, and bury any solid waste in toilet paper. remember to check that that quiet, tucked out of the way cave you found to poop in isn't actually a cave boulder problem paradise. One final thought to remember. We are lucky and fortunate to have access to these wonderful and diverse climbing venues. Remaining respectful of the locals, landowners, other climbers, and those out to enjoy the peace and quiet of the countryside will mean that access to the boulders we love so much can continue unchallenged. These are the codes of etiquette which we follow and use whilst we're out enjoying the countryside. Leave us a comment and let us know what you think is important for people when heading outside to climb. Do check out the rest of our outdoor bouldering series, which covers all the gear and kit to take with you, and tips on how to choose the ideal bouldering mat for yourself. Enjoy your climbing, have fun, and stay safe.